So we just released a video on, hey, there's this white van coming to San Francisco and scooping up all the homeless, and they took them away in one night. Yeah, so where did all the homeless actually go for the APEC conference? That's what we're getting into today. Were they scooped up in a white van? Were they Soylent Green? If you know that reference, we're going to talk about that as well. Where did they go? Let's get into it. Here we go. Here's a clip I want to show you. This is what this whole premise is based off of. We've got, and you guys went wild on conspiracy theories of, this has happened in my neighborhood. This is happening. This is happening in Lahaina. Where did all the children go? A lot of that stuff out there. All right, let's watch this video real quick. That's what we're going to start with. Loves to poke that bear and come up with stuff. Talking about James Woods. That's literally what we've got going on here. This is from James Woods. So, San Francisco homeless disappeared in one night. Where'd they go? Preparation for Newsom's bend the knee grovel. Oh, commie dictator. Commies. President of China. What happened to them? Where are they now? Where'd they go? This creepy video. Okay, let's do it.
May or may not have heard about what's going on in San Francisco with the homeless population, but it's wild. It's got my brain going down so many different avenues right now. I guess a few days ago, China's General Secretary Tsai, he visited San Francisco to meet Governor Gavin Newsom. And everybody knows how bad the homeless population situation has gotten in San Francisco. Even Elon Musk was recently talking about it in an interview with Joe Rogan.
I think San Francisco is a beautiful city, and we should really fight hard to kind of right the ship of San Francisco. If you walked around downtown San Francisco, right near the ex-FK Twitter headquarters, it's a zombie apocalypse. It's crazy.
It is.
Well, evidently, overnight, people, they're just all gone. And
where'd they go?
I saw a video of someone else is talking about it right here.
Did you see one video of them cleaning up the streets?
I did. I had them on my podcast.
Hauling those homeless people off?
No, because they didn't haul them off.
And isn't that amazing? That
but let's run with it anyway.
Not one person got a cell phone video of them in San Francisco rounding up the homeless.
And in his comment section, people from all over are talking about how they've got family that have gone missing there.
Where'd they go?
They can't get a hold of their family. Local people know people that were down.
Homeless people on the streets of San Francisco, whacked out on drugs. They can't get a hold of them? What? I don't believe that. Not for a second. Those folks are checking in on the daily. Right?
There that they can't get a hold of since that night, since the day that all took place. Evidently people were driving around and they were getting asked to get in white vans.
White vans.
And these people are never seen from again. They're telling the local homeless there that
gone.
They're taking them to the train station. There's some crazy stuff going on over there, but they cleaned it all up in one night.
What?
All this other stuff going on all over the world, and right in our own backyard here, this is going on. There's some wild stuff going on, and be careful how deep you dig on this, y'all, because you may not like the answers that you find.
Anywho, I mean, I don't want to raise judgment here, but they've been cleaning up San Francisco for months. Months. We've been talking about it for months. I have literally been talking about it for a couple of months. I started off just, okay. So let's look at some of these comments. These comments are pretty funny. Need I remind you of all the missing kids from Lahaina, Ohio, and countless border invader spawn? Our evil rulers can make us serfs disappear anytime they want to. All right. Okay. All right. There are so many. If I lived down there, I'd be handing out green protein bars out of clear plastic bags. Some of the comments are just absolutely phenomenal. I have white vans and white cars following me everywhere, but I'm loudly Christian, MAGA in California, so it comes with the territory. Involuntary commitment. Let's see if they return. And then we had a number, Soylent Green. Wait, wasn't this the plot of the movie Soylent Green? A number of comments, a number of references to the movie Soylent Green from 1973, movie set in 2022, right? With Charlton Heston. Let's watch the most famous scene.
Tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people. We gotta stop them. Somehow.
There goes Charlton Heston. Famous line. That's one of his most famous lines, apparently. So let's get back to reality. Where did, physically, I want to know, where did these people go? Because you got a whole bunch of homeless people. And I've said, I just kind of scattered to the four winds. All right. But let's do a little dig see. Let's take a look and see, where did San Francisco's homeless population actually go during APEC? Here's what we uncovered. Let's watch a little video.
Avenue and Eddy Street 2 months ago. This week, a completely different look. Planter boxes now on the sidewalk. This
looks nice.
From APEC. Nice. Mina Street between 7th and Julia Streets with multiple tents 2 months ago. This week, cleared. Less than a mile from APEC. All this leading to the question, where did San Francisco's homeless population go? We found many of them on Willow Street. Where were you before being here on Willow?
Harrison and 5th Street, down the way a bit.
Before APEC, Cody had set camp 2 blocks from Moscone Center. For the last week, U.S. Secret Service has been restricting access to a 12-square block radius in the Soma neighborhood for the summit. Cody said city workers showed up and offered him shelter. He took it. So did the city move you?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I mean, they tell you, they'll block off certain streets and stuff and tell you to keep going.
St. Anthony's.
Okay, so the big difference between hauling people off in white vans or, making them into Soylent Green versus, hey, we've got this area blocked off. We need you to be outside of this area, right? And so that homeless dude gave where he was and where he is. That's like 2 blocks away. It's 2 blocks away. So no white vans, no Soylent Green so far. But I mean, let's keep going.
Has been keeping track of the need for shelter in the Tenderloin. It has seen an uptick this week. So a month ahead of APEC, what did you guys notice?
Approximately about a month before APEC began, there was an intentional engagement with the city and people experiencing homelessness in South of Market.
In a statement, San Francisco's Department of Homelessness acknowledged that when events like APEC take place, efforts change, saying, quote, "We want to put our best foot forward. Dedicated outreach efforts will be focused on the conference vicinity, and offering safe places for people experiencing homelessness will be priority."
Many of the folks who are staying south of Market on the street have been asked to relocate. And many of those people who were asked to relocate were offered shelter.
Businesses in the Tenderloin are glad more homeless individuals are now in shelters, but are concerned of what will happen once APEC is over.
And we're going to talk about that.
We're definitely going to keep pushing. We're all the constituents, the property owners, the businesses. We are the mayor's constituents. We are the city of San Francisco, and they need to listen to us.
And San Francisco's homelessness department said that even though there was no special shelter capacity for APEC, the city did open winter shelter on the same day APEC started in San Francisco, adding about
coincidence
beds to the shelter system. Amma?
All right, Luce, thank you so much.
So life in San Francisco after the APEC summit. So what has happened? All the people that were allegedly scooped up with white vans, where did they go? Okay, so let's watch a quick clip. This is post-APEC. So if all the homeless, and they're the ones that are consuming all the drugs, right? If they're gone and the folks that are selling the drugs, probably not going to be there. What's it look like now? Because that's your real indicator. Maybe all these folks were scooped up in white vans and driven to a center where they're made into Soylent Green. I don't know. I mean, that could very well be. We don't know. But let's check in with this quick little video that is post-APEC and see kind of what we're dealing with now.
Heading in for San Francisco residents who'd hoped that the clean and safe streets they enjoyed during the APEC summit last week would last. But in some parts of the city, it's like APEC never happened. The drug dealers back, as are the unhoused.
Yeah, not much of an APEC halo.
They came back?
Angry. Let's bring in NBC's Terry McSweeney.
I thought they were Soylent Green.
Conference left, and we are trying to get back to where we were at.
Her name is Buttons. She's unhoused, and she says she's a victim of the pre-APEC cleanup.
They just kind of pushed us out.
A victim.
And told us that we were pretty much SOL. We'd find a place other than here.
She certainly wasn't alone.
That's kind of how that goes.
The city look its best for the thousands.
You're living illegally on the streets.
But now that that's all gone, so is that shine. And some say so is that safety.
And what they did is they basically moved or pushed all the homeless back up into the Tenderloin or deeper into Soma or up to the Van Ness corridor.
Tom Wolfe, once unhoused
up to the north and west,
is a recovery advocate. He posted this one example of the cleanup at Jones and McAllister during the summit, barricades galore. We went back tonight and found 15 or 20 people milling about that very intersection. Wolfe says the cleanup shows when there's strong political will and resources, but to keep it going would take a sustained commitment to law enforcement and drug rehab.
Unless you're going to pay unlimited overtime all the time for everyone.
That's post cleanup there.
100 more police officers. We aren't going to be able to achieve the type of scene that we got to witness last week because of APEC.
Do you know how many officers are on duty in Soma right now tonight? Maybe 3. And this is from the police department.
Mark Sackett owns a letterpress, retail store, and event space business on Howard Street near the Moscone Center, where the U.S. Commerce Secretary hosted an event last week. But he says $250,000 worth of events has slipped away because people come to his area of town, look around, and don't think it's safe.
They cleared what needed to be cleared.
Because it's not.
It was going to be seen, but they didn't clear down here. I mean, we still had all the issues. It was just like, it's like kicking an anthill. They just crawled down here.
Experts say, in addition to the millions of dollars,
kicking an anthill, new one,
would also have to spend for thousands of dollars of rehabilitation beds for the drug addicted here in the city, if it wants to bring back that shine we saw last week. In San Francisco, Terry McSweeney, NBC Bay Area News.
Okay, so yeah, there you kind of have it. Okay, all right, so. I'm sorry about, ruining all that dystopian thought of, hey, this is where the homeless went. They just got moved around. They just literally got whack-a-moled around. Some of them went into shelter, but they are all coming back. That's the bottom line. They're all coming back. They're not made into Soylent Green, which is people. Soylent Green is people. Get it? I get it. I understand. The white vans, we're always afraid of white vans following us, and white vans are going to scoop us up and take us Lord knows where. Yeah. But bottom line here is we knew this was the drill, because you can clean an area up, but unless you have the will to keep it clean, not going to happen. And then all you've done is push people out of the area that you wanted cleaned up. That makes the other areas adjoining. And we heard the one guy, I'm not saying the one guy is the total reason, complete explanation for the homeless went, but he was like, a couple of blocks away, he basically said, I went from here to here. And they pushed us outside of where the convention was, the Moscone Center, right? So this whole thing about these conspiracies going on are just complete nonsense. They're complete nonsense. But everybody loves a good conspiracy. So why not talk about it? And then we kind of cover it. And then we're like, wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that's not exactly how it went. Because now you've got these homeless folks and the drug addicts and the people selling all the drugs and all the stolen goods. They're just coming right back because you literally just pushed them out of an area. And now they're coming back. You heard the homeless woman say, we're just trying to get back to where we were. They told us that we were SOL during this, APEC conference, which they could give a crap about. Right? But no, the homeless people aren't just disappearing. I love the one guy in the video that you've probably seen before on my channel, where he says, the one guy's like, nobody got any cell phone footage of this cleanup happening. So he's making the gamble that you never watch that type of content. And if you've been watching News for Reasonable People, how many times have I shown cleanup and whatnot going on? All the time. It's a regular occurrence. When you've got poop on your sidewalks, you're going to clean it up. Here's what that looks like. And they'd been doing that for months in anticipation for the APEC conference. And we talked about it. And Gavin Newsom came out right out and said very openly, very transparently, yeah, we cleaned up the city because that's what we did. And everybody's like, oh, he said that out loud. The governor, Gruesome Newsom, said out loud that, yeah, we're cleaning it up just for the conference, not for the residents, not for the store owners, not for the business owners trying to run businesses. We cleaned it up for the conference because, we had to polish the turd. And did you see the Newsom versus DeSantis debate where DeSantis pulls out the poop map? The article I read said the poop map was an app that people go into. The poop map that I look at is not. There's a different app, and the poop map, the app that was linked in the story that I read was incorrect, and it was on Fox. I was kind of disappointed. The actual map is a different map, and it has pictures of said poop incidents on it, and it's got the kind of the moving brown poop emoji. Love that map. I've shown that map here so many times. But how about DeSantis just, throwing up the poop map emoji? That is an indicator of, how the city is doing. And so if you dive into the poop map, the interactive poop map for San Francisco, you will see just how many areas there are within the city that are just covered with instances that this has happened. You know what the left's excuse for that is? It's mostly dog poop. It's all dog poop. Nothing to worry about here. We just got some really irresponsible dog owners. That's what San Francisco's problem is. Yeah, pretty much. And Soylent Green is made of people, and the homeless are being made into Soylent Green, and white vans are taking people everywhere. I hate to kick a good conspiracy theory, but these are just so wildly apparent of what's going on because I've been reading these storylines and I've been following these storylines. And then you get these jokers coming in and, yeah, not one person. Have you seen one instance of cleanup or talked about one instance of cleanup in all of this? And they cleaned it up in one night. So those content creators are betting on the fact that people haven't been paying attention to this, and they see it and they go, oh, what is going on there? White vans? Soylent Green? Oh, I'm down. Click. Speaking of not clicking, I know a lot of you guys watch Peter Zeihan. He's a geopolitical analyst, and he's got a great YouTube channel. You guys send me links to his content all the time. He's got a really interesting video out on, it's Zeihan, Peter Zeihan. He's got a really interesting, it's like a 4 or 5 minute video on why he is leaving Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. And he's basically saying, hey, the algorithms now, he spends all of his time trying to sort through all the news that's on Twitter. And I don't really use Twitter. I think we launch a bunch of our podcasts there, but I'm not really interactive on there. And he has a really good explanation of why he's leaving Twitter. And it was basically because he can't figure out which story is real and which story isn't. He can't fact check. What used to take him an hour to get through news now takes him 12 hours because he's, I'm sure there's slight exaggeration in there, but it's taking him way longer because of all the fake news in there. So when you see these reports of, oh yeah, all the children from here, and here, they're all gone. Where did they go? Where did the homeless go? Were they scooped up in white vans? People can't get a hold of them. They can't get a hold of the homeless population in San Francisco. Can you believe that? Where did they? Yes, I can believe that because that's how the homeless population operates. They're not checking in, charging their cell phones. Well, that's about 14th down on the list before, stealing said goods, selling said goods, buying drugs, doing drugs. That whole list of things takes precedence over checking in with the family back home in Nebraska, right? I mean, that's just kind of what we're doing. So hate to burst the bubble, but yeah, that's what we got going on. None of that conspiracy theory stuff. They just moved them away. Now they're coming back. And getting back to a point earlier, unless you have a solution in San Francisco for taking care of the mentally ill and the drug addicted, you're not going to solve any of this. You can move them away, push them away. They're going to come right back. Yeah, they're the gift that keeps giving. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.